All right, trial mob. So we have a lot of stuff coming in. I have a lot of things I need to cover. So this is going to be a part one, but as you can tell, a very diversified set of news. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. And don't forget to check in, like, comment, subscribe, so that way then you can help the channel grow and get a little bit more attention. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and break it down. Alright, trial mob, so to start everything off today, we have the Cult of Senna Logan sitting on top of his Hellwalker age 20. As per usual, we get some serious Fists of the North Star / Mad Max vibes, and they look beautiful, man. This is a great head sculpt, a great body look. The motorcycle itself, I love what they've done with it. It looks very similar to what we've gotten before, but I love the big horns, I love the big handlebars. I mean, for the most part, I think this is a very, very attractive looking figure. For the most part, this has a lot of the same looks that we've seen before, kind of that like fur around the body and the exposed skin, basically the vest that these guys wear. Well, they don't all have a vest, but I like that this guy specifically has a vest. The look overall looks great, and of course he comes with multiple weapons. The stance, all of it looks really nice. I really appreciate the paint coloring, as I mentioned, some of the decal on here. I'm hoping that the actual finished product is going to look this good in terms of its paint work. Joytoy tends to not be able to hit the mark so well when they're mass producing these, but at least knowing that this is what it could look like is pretty badass. And this right here is the money shot for me. So he comes with the spear. We've seen this, it's more of a Biden. We've seen this before, but man, it looks really cool on him in this specific photo right here. I really like how they're marketing some of their figures. The motorcycle itself looks absolutely incredible. I really like the way that these look, and of course you can buy them separately, so this doesn't necessarily have to go to Logan. You could put anybody you want on it. That's the beauty of being able to mix and match a lot of this stuff. But again, if you don't like these motorcycles, or if maybe you don't care about the actual like Logan and the rest of them, you can just buy the motorcycles, or you can just buy the actual physical characters. That's up to you. This side shot looks incredible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like how they've captured, in essence, really what a chopper would look like in real life, with all the engine pieces and everything that you see here. I mean, I almost wouldn't mind seeing Joytoy make like a high-level die-cast out of this kind of overall looking motorcycle. This is something that I would definitely be considerate of buying. I'm not super big into the vehicles, if I'm being honest. There's a bigger chance I buy Logan over this, but again, if you like this kind of stuff, this is probably a must-buy for you. Here we get a nice look of what Logan is going to look like, and just loads of detail all throughout. The studs we see on the shields, on the armor itself, the spikes on the boots, the knees. There's just a lot going on with these guys, a lot of personality. I know you can't see their face, but it doesn't stop them from looking like absolutely savage warriors, you know what I mean? So I like the fact that they have a really cool aesthetic that you can tell they all belong together. And this guy does come with a lot of what we've seen before, you know, the Biden, the shield. It's not the exact same shield, it's a little different, but again, he does come fully equipped and decked out. And of course, we do get a nice back shot of him, and as you can tell, he does come looking really nice. I like the fact that there's more things to him. He's got like that pouch in the back. On the actual back of the jacket, he seems to have what looks like, kind of looks like a cross. It's not really a cross, but again, I do like the fact that we see a lot of details front and back. These guys always look menacing, always just look highly detailed. That's what I'll give Joytoy for sure, regardless of the eventual paint quality of the figure. And then, of course, here we get a nice breakdown of everything that this character comes with. I love the fact that the jacket is removable. It means you can put it onto anybody you want. But as you can tell, he does come with a lot of other weapons here. So, sword, Biden, shield, what looks like an assault rifle, a pistol, and a knife. And, of course, the motorcycle itself is separate, but still pretty cool looking overall. Now switching over to the Warhammer 40k, we have, joining the Orks, we have the Squig Hognob on Smash a Squig. Man, this thing is absolutely massive. I think this has to be probably one of the biggest figures we've gotten for Warhammer 40k that's not basically a dreadnought, but this looks absolutely savage, man. That Squig looks scary, and I like the fact that, again, he looks really nice. He has a lot of, I mean, just look at that face, man. Huge teeth, giant jaw. This thing looks like it could take down a whole primary space marine with just one chomp. And then, of course, we have a giant orc on top of them. And I don't know if I've shown you guys photos yet of how big these guys are. These orcs are massive. They are basically a little bit taller than what we are getting right now from the primary space marines, give or take, or at least they're like basically brow to brow. But these guys are just absolutely huge. And on top of that, on top of this massive squig, love what I'm seeing here. Now, I would say that the only concern that I do have, because as you can tell, again, absolutely massive figure, but they seem to be giving us a stand to go with this. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. Obviously, it's to keep the figure upright, but I wish they would have done something maybe in the legs. I'm not really quite sure what they could have done, but I kind of don't want to have to rely on this to be able to stand this guy up. I guess considering that this is a bipedal animal, it's hard to get this kind of stuff right, everything considered. So I understand that they maybe have to do this. So it's nice that you're getting it, but don't forget, you probably are kind of paying already a big price tag for this figure, let alone have to pay for this stand that it comes with. So keep that in mind. Now, of course, it's not just the big squig that is the focal point of this, it's the orc itself, and this is a little bit more in line with the orcs that I have seen before. I know that we're getting the commandos, but the commandos literally look like they could be human warriors, and these guys are supposed to look a lot more savage, a lot like what you see here. And I really like the aesthetic overall, the robotic arm, the what looks like an axe chainsword thing, or an axe chainsaw thing, and then of course the horns on the those are either horns or straight up teeth on his back. Again, just makes him look really menacing. So I really appreciate what we're getting here with some of the orcs, and of course the size is going to be incredible on these. Now, unlike the Cult of San Reha, this is going to be one whole piece, right? You can't buy them separately. From my understanding, this is how it's going to come. So you do get the orc, the squig, the oh, I realize it's more like a chainsaw staff type thing, or like a scythe. That's really cool. And then, of course, the gun that he comes with. So overall, kudos to Joytoy for bringing this to life. This looks incredible. Now, they can't just give love to the orcs, they have to give love, obviously, to the Space Marines, and here we are finally getting Space Wolves, Thunderwolf Cavalry. So we have Frode in this one, and we're also getting Bajane. So we're getting two of the Thunderwolf Cavalries, and this is something that's actually really interesting to me. So I wasn't ever sure if we were going to get regular Astartes or if they were always going to give us just Primaris, but here we have it. We are in fact getting the regular Astartes, and they look incredible, man. I really like the fact that we're getting them at this point, and we're getting fan favorites. These Fenrisian wolves are absolutely massive. They definitely aren't going to look small next to that squig, and they look fearsome. And I like the fact that they just, again, well, I'm not sure how the paint quality is going to come out, but if the paint quality comes out good, these are going to be incredible looking just on the wolves themselves. Now, I really like how they come set up. So as you can tell, we have the figure itself, the removable backpack, the shield, the sword, the gun, and multiple hands. Both of them seem to come with basically the exact same setup. And to be honest, it looks like it's the exact same armor. The only real difference is the head that you're getting, and of course the different Fenrisian wolf that you'll be getting, this gray one, and then of course that black colored one. Now, personally, I really do like the color of this black haired one a bit more, so I'm hoping that this is probably going to be the one I focus on if I only buy one. But I do want to make a quick mention. We've actually seen photography of these guys next to the Primaris Space Marines, and as it were to turn out, the Astartes are the exact same height as the Primaris. I know scaling is a big problem with this Joytoy, the Joytoy releases we're getting, and they really only seem to revolve around the Space Marines, so I kind of think that this is a great buy-in option. If you don't like the fact that the scale of the Primaris are too small, then you're going to love the fact that these Astartes are the right size overall. So definitely these are going to be a must-buy, probably for me, but it does raise the question, is at some point Joytoy going to update the size of the current Primaris and make them bigger, considering that now that they're making Astartes, they are in fact the same size, meaning they are correctly scaled. So we'll have to see what Joytoy decides to do in the future. Now, switching over to 52 Toys, we're getting basically the Hexanoids, which are these really cool packaged figures. As you know, we have gotten toys from them before. I haven't had an opportunity to do a review on some of their earlier products, but I will say this. I'm not exactly impressed by the quality of the figures. So while this does look cool, this does look awesome, if you're an inbox collector, you're probably going to love this because this looks great, but how that figure actually feels in hand might be where these are lacking. Now, regardless of how they might feel in hand, I do have to admit that these look incredible just in their photography. I think they are fairly unique. We haven't really seen much like this. And of course, this is the 1/18 scale, so that's some really nice stuff. And again, I like the fact that we have a lot of these glowing pieces. They're not actually glowing, they're just, you know, translucent green. But I like the fact that we get some of that stuff in here. It makes them look a lot more alive. Photography is very important for a lot of us, just how good these figures could look in their poses and depending on what you do with them. So, you know, really nice photography like this can really sell you on a figure. Now, I do appreciate that we get a little scale here, more or less, of how tall it's going to be. So about 3.75 or 10 centimeters tall. The legs do look kind of long for how short I guess the arms aren't too short, but this is basically what it does come with. Closed fists, some open hands, and then the gun that it comes with, which is a very interesting looking magnet type thing. Now, switching over to the 1/12 scale stuff, here we have from Revoltech Yamaguchi, the Return of the King himself, Black Panther. Man, this is an incredible looking figure. Dropped just around the time that we're finally hearing about Black Panther 2, so I'm in my feels. I know you guys are in your feels too. I really kind of wish that Revoltech would have given us a unmasked head that might have looked more like Chadwick Boseman. I would definitely be paying big bucks for that. Rest in peace to the king. But here we are with just an incredible looking figure, and I'm super happy that with this figure we're getting a few other accessories like this beautiful looking spear here. But even without the spear itself, he does come with some action effect poses, and of course multiple hands, since you do have to have him with these claw hands, and also being able to grip things. And again, this looks really cool. I'm not really quite sure on the overall size. We haven't seen how big this guy looks compared to other people, but he is supposed to be a fairly tall figure, so I am hoping that this is going to scale perfectly with everything else. But again, just a really cool look. I love all the black. I love the silver tones to it. I think they really nailed the look and sculpt of this guy. And of course, here's another really good look at the figure in terms of how you can get him in his posing. So, I mean, yeah, Revoltech is really good with their overall posing. And as you can tell from that initial photo, even though this does look a bit more realistic, we've noticed that Revoltech in recent years, with a lot of their releases, they're starting to get their figures more anatomically correct and better looking. You can still get these guys in really incredible poses with or without having that really wacky kind of animated look that they had before. This one right here is definitely without a doubt a cool shot. And as you can tell, while he is kind of black, he's kind of like Venom in the sense that he's kind of like a black purple. You can definitely see that in the head in this scenario here. It definitely looks very purple-esque. And then I really like this effect piece because he does have the suit that can basically take in kinetic energy and kind of dish it back out. So very nice stuff. And of course, articulation on full display here. The fact that you can get him this low into the pose that he's in and look this good, this is a must-buy without a doubt. Now, for those of you who are still collecting the My Heroes Academia stuff, the Revoltech releases that we were getting, here we get Hawks. Now listen, I have not seen this actual character in the anime yet. I haven't gotten far enough, but I'm a big fan of everything that, is My Hero Academia. So the fact that they have this figure and the fact that I love Revoltech, I know that they're going to do this guy justice, and I'm sure he's a cool character in the anime. Those wings look great. I like his overall uniform. He's definitely got this like Top Gun look to him, and I'm not surprised. Now, as with everything Revoltech, options is the name of the game, and as you can see here, there are multiple different options. Now, what I'm not sure is whether or not these are face plates, or if these right here are just the eyes are movable so that you can make him do what you want, but I understand that there are face plates as well. We see some smirks, some smiles, more serious looks, so again, options is the name of the game. Now, of course, the body itself is going to be highly articulatable, and as you can tell, he does have just those wings that are also going to be articulatable, and I don't really understand what his powers are. I haven't necessarily seen them, but I guess he can pull swords from his wings. That's pretty fucking dope. And then on top of that, of course, you can tell how far you can get in terms of his articulation. I wonder if this one specifically is going to come with a stand, considering you want to get him into flight poses. If it doesn't, then you're just going to have to get one from Revoltech, which, I feel like for the price that these guys are, they probably should get them, especially if a character has to have flight poses like this. Definitely a must, but definitely a very dynamic looking figure. But with a flight pose or not, the fact is that he can't stand on his own 2 feet, and as you can tell, here he is without the wings. I'm not quite sure again if this is just kind of like how his wings look like when he's not using them or when he's not activating his powers, but oh man, there's just a certain look to this guy. It makes me really want to jump back into the anime right now and just watch it, because I really like what I'm seeing with this guy. And again, even though I might not know who he is yet, I am 100% going to buy this again to continue my collection, because I have basically everything they've put out so far. But again, I would like to add a few more superheroes like this guy right here. Now, I also want to give a shout out to DC Multiverse. I'm not a big fan of McFarlane. I've said that multiple times, but this figure does look really nice. So this is Talon. This is basically from the one of the most recent, probably really good comic book stories about Batman. This guy is supposed to be able to literally kick the fuck out of Batman. I believe he wins several of the fights against him in the comic book series. So this guy is a serious villain here, and I think that he looks incredible. It's kind of hard to mess him up considering he's all just basically black. but I think for the most part, the way that he looks overall, they really nailed the look. And of course, you get pretty good articulation overall. Yes, it's going to be a little bit limited around the legs, but everything else looks like it's probably going to be really, really nice. So I'm highly considering picking this one up when it does release.